up, fellow engineers? Dr. McKay here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing the Ariane 5 James Webb Space Telescope build. Obviously today is the mod.io showcase, so I finished and completed the build and it functions how I've managed to get it to work. So this is a showcase on how you operate and use the Ariane 5 and James Webb Space Telescope. There are two ways you can launch it, but before we get into the video, if you want to go ahead, hit the like button, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Your support really helps me out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so every subscription does help. So with all that said, this is the Ariane 5 rocket from European Space Agency, as we can see by the logos and stuff. And obviously in the last video I showed it, we did the first test launch of it, and obviously we had a few little hiccups, but I've corrected majority of the hiccups minus the clang little drive on the actual satellite itself, but we can work around that. But essentially this is the rocket. So when you spawn it in, you want to spawn it in so it's like kind of sat in the ground like this. So obviously we have large grid block in the middle, so that's got to be in the ground, and then obviously the rest of it flush-ish. Alright, so obviously the way I've designed this build is basically an auto launch. So essentially what you want to do is, that shouldn't be that big, it should be okay, just quickly change that. Alright, basically the Ariane 5 is an auto-launch rocket, and you have to use remote control and cameras to fly it. Right? Obviously you have to at least be operating the second stage once it attaches. Now you'll see why when we launch it, but for the purposes of this video I'm going to be using a cockpit on this one here so I can ride it in space so you can see it in full. But I will, after we've launched this one into space, I will do a quick speed run of the auto launch sequence, so I'll show you how to do it. So firstly, once you spawned it in, you want to come up to here and basically press the green button, and that will close the fairing at the top. Now it has to be spawned in with the fairing open, otherwise the fairing will merge together and you'll have to unstick it by deleting some blocks. So spawn it open, it solves that problem. Next one we want to do is the yellow button, which is the fuel connectors, which is the two on the SRBs and then the two on the first and second stages. And then obviously when we come to auto launch it, you just press that button there and then you go into your remote control. But for the purposes of this video, so I can show you it all in full, we're going to take a little seat, we're going to ride it in third person so we can see. So all we really need is the timer block, that is that one there, and then we start. So 3, 2, 1, lift off. And we have liftoff. So the entire ride into space is almost 10 minutes. It's about 9.1 to the point where the telescope stops moving. And obviously I have sequenced the boosters, or the separations. Boosters separate about 2 minutes 30, the fairings 3 minutes. First stage is 4 minutes 30. The second stage stops around 7 minutes and 40 seconds. But by then we should be roughly in 0G. So, and then obviously around 9 minutes is when the telescope stops moving. So that's the entire launch process. But obviously for this one we're gonna literally have a nice third person view of the Ariane 5. Now if you're wondering why I'm not talking, I am just doing it so I can speed the video up in editing. The boosters will separate around 13,000 meters, so just another 3,000 meters to go, and then the boosters will separate. They're the boosters. In 30 seconds, the fairings will deploy, revealing the telescope inside. There the fairings go. Obviously, the next stage is the main core on the first stage, and this is where we have to then take control of the vehicle. So you need to be at least in the remote control settings on the ground for the second stage. There's booster set, or not booster, main core set and skirt set. But as you can tell, we immediately start to pan up, so we have to keep control of the vehicle. So the best way I found to do this is find a fixed star or asteroid in space and then keep it roughly in that direction. There's nothing I can do to change this. It is just how it is. I know it's a little tricky. I have no idea. Well, I know why it's doing it. It's because of the hinges on the telescope. But if I don't want the clang, I can't have the telescope. So we need the clang for the telescope. So unfortunately, unless anybody has any ideas on how to fix it, please hit me in the comments. I'd love to know how to fix this. So I've tried more gyros. Too many gyros, you end up just spinning. Too few gyros, you don't have enough control. But obviously, essentially, when you're using cameras and stuff, you'll have a first-person perspective through the camera to control it. It's about the same amount of difficulty as if you had a seat. So, but the second stage should take us to about 40,000 meters, and we should drift or coast to 0G. But if you let the clang take you too much off course, you might end up within the gravity still. But obviously, I've had it within 0.5 gravity, and the telescope manages to stay stationary with the ion thrusters, so it does stay, as long as you're not too far in the gravity. It is a bit tricky. But like I said, there's no other way to do it. It's with the clang. Like the clang device, yeah. So obviously, you can see that I'm not even touching the controller, and we're moving just ever so slightly. So if you don't take control of the second stage, you'll end up having a spinny satellite going somewhere. Now I have done it without touching it, and it ends up crashing back to the planet. So you do need to control it. Once the satellite deploys, though, it doesn't spin. It's very crazy. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Ah. He's a tricky wicket. There you go, there's deployment. So, yeah, that just goes away. But this one, as you can see, it's just spinning. Just doing it on its own. But now we should just drift into 0G. But obviously, if you're in control of the telescope via the camera and remote control, you can control the spin. But obviously, as you can see, the ion thrusters have engaged, and now that will correct it and slow it down to be able to deploy the satellite itself. Like I said, if anybody knows how to stop a clang spin, it'd be much appreciated. I've been playing this game since launch, and I have no idea how to stop it once you get one going. So once as you can see, we're almost we're basically stationary now, but we're still in the planet. We're still in the gravity. So I must have missed. I might extend the second stage burn just a slight tad, you know, so we can actually get into 0G. But the telescope should deploy in a second. Once the timer elapses on the timer block. This is funny, it's spinning around. Any minute now. It should hopefully correct itself once. There you go. Now it's deploying. There's the sun shield. Comes the secondary mirror. And now comes the side bits of the main mirror. And there we have it. One deployed James Webb. Granted, we're in the gravity, but as you can see, we're at 0 meters a second. Still at 0.5, but we are not moving because obviously that's taking control. But we could boost the altitude by taking control of it. Now this is what you would normally do for the actual launch. So we want to do that one and control it. And where are we at? We are here. So I need to find out which way to go. So where's the planet? Where is it? Ha, there it is. Too much. Alright, now I need to figure out. Alright. There you go. Now we can just boost it. It's hard to control. But we could theoretically boost it into 0G if you really wanted to. But I won't take it all the way to 0G. But you get my point. You could do it via remote control. It's a bit tricky because the cameras, and it still kind of has a clang when you move it. As you can see, it's still spinning. But yeah, that's deploying the satellite. And obviously, if you have any suggestions on how to improve the spin, much appreciated. So what we're going to do is just quickly clean up our mess. Even though I have blueprinted it, it's a lot quicker just to copy and paste. So I can fix it after this video. Alright. So what did I say? It was the... What I might do, I might just give the main core a slight boost. So make the main core go a little longer. So that would be somewhere here. So first stage separation at 2 minutes. Go 2 minutes 20. It gives an extra 20 seconds of first stage. So right, to auto launch it with the cameras and remote control, basically same way you did before. You do the fairing, close it up, fuel, There we go. Once the fuel lines are deployed, you just click the button and off it goes. I know generally just stay flying straight without you touching it, but obviously you can, once it gets to where it's going, control it via camera. So we've got one on the top of the satellite, top of the telescope, one looking up, which once the fairing is deployed you can see, which is one you would use to control it on the second stage. Downwards view, and we have an angle on the sun shield of the telescope once it deploys. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to talk while we're in flight so I can speed up the footage in editing. So hope you enjoy it. Catch you in a minute. Right, now when the main core separates from the second stage, there'll be a cut in the remote control connection. So be quick and establish a remote connection again afterwards, you'll see in a second. Otherwise you'll have a out of control second stage flying. We don't want that. Now I did increase, obviously as you saw, the boost the main core for 20 extra seconds. That should help us burn. So there we go. So now we've disconnected. We take control now of that one. Get a HUD up. Ooh. And we need to pick a point flight. So there's where the other one is. So I'm just going to keep it roughly there. At this stage, this is where you have to control it. As you can see, I'm trying to keep it relatively center of where the last one is. And we get another disconnection, so we have to then take control of it again. Now we're actually on the satellite itself. Still have to keep it relatively straight. I'm not sure why we're not reaching 0G. Maybe I'm going at too much of an angle. Yeah, no. And there you have it then, folks. That was the auto launch from the ground. As you can see, I'm still on the ground. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, see, I'm on the ground. And obviously, our telescope is up there. Or over there, which is over there. So, we didn't actually go straight up. We kind of went, we banked at some point. But anyway, there you have it then, folks. So that's the mod.io build. Obviously, I'm just going to actually give our second stage a slight extra boost wise in my brain. Apart from that, everything went a-okay. So what do you reckon it was? I reckon about 10 extra seconds, give or take. So that would be timer block. Where am I looking? So that's already on 3 minutes. So we get extra 15 seconds. That should do. So if you enjoyed the rocket and my builds and want to continue to see me build more, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the Ariane 5 James Webb Space Telescope. It was actual enjoyment to build and find the like all the bits and bobs I need to build the get all the stuff I need to build it. Yeah, so yeah, be much appreciated if you leave a like as well. Yeah, because I do love these videos, and obviously the more you like the video, the better it is for other people to see my stuff on YouTube. So much appreciated if you do that. Well, I said, I've been Dr. McKay. Thank you all for watching. You can download this on mod.io. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you for watching. Cheers and goodbye.